Nikhil, what did Frank Darby show you on that last catch and in that ball game last week?
A lot of courage, to take a hit like that and still, well, at least how I feel, to hold on to the ball and make that catch. That's special.
It's a team bouncing back from Saturday night.
It's behind us now. There's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is just go into practice, working hard, and just focus on Washington.
And the road doesn't get any easier. The road this week, top 10 team. How do you prepare for that environment?
Just keep doing what we've been doing. We're starting to find our identity. We know what we need to work on. We know our strengths, our weaknesses. So it's just applying that and going out there and putting together a full game.
What was your perspective on that last play of the pass to Frank Darby? Your perspective?
I can't remember what route I was running, but I saw 3 defenders and I was just hoping for the best, and he made a great play. I'm real proud of him. I really do feel like it was a catch, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Your thoughts on the impact of that hit? I mean, what was going through your mind when you saw that guy lay that hit on Frank?
I was surprised he held on to the ball. That's an extremely hard catch, and it just shows how strong and how passionate he is about this game. He did everything he could to get that ball, and he really showed all of his teammates how much he cares for us and this game of football.
What did you tell him after that play, or just after the game about it?
I just told him to keep his head up. He was obviously pretty upset that they called it incomplete, but I just told him we just got to go back to work.
With his performance, did he step up to be the kind of guy that can be there, right there with you and Kyle as a receiving threat?
Of course, he can impact the game just as much as me, and he showed that, and I feel like he really will continue to show that throughout the course of the season.
When he played Washington last year, you didn't have a chance to face Byron Murphy. Now this week you do. Just talk about how much you're looking forward to that, facing a good friend.
I'm really excited. I know how special of a player he is. He's basically like a wide receiver playing cornerback with cornerback hips and cornerback quickness. So it's a matchup I've been looking forward to all off season, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
As the Texas is just ramped up, or actually totally quiet?
A little bit of both.
Nikhil, what did you learn about this team from last season that will help you this weekend?
They're a very sound team. They're well coached, and it's really all on us. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot. We can't have false starts. I feel like there's a couple plays I could have made in the last game that are still haunting me this week, and that's something that I'll keep in my head, and I'll make sure that I'm ready along with the other guys.
Is that a secret, or can you tell me one of the plays that haunts you, or are you keeping it to yourself?
I feel like I could have caught that first comeback, and I feel like I could have caught that post. And I also feel like maybe I could have done something to, try to body that defender when Manny gave me a jump ball. I think it was in the second quarter. I felt like maybe I could have swam by and got in better position. It's always something that I can do to make a catch, and that's something that I looked at on film, and I feel like I'm working on this week.
What's Frank like as a teammate? I see you guys dancing out there every time during stretches and warm-ups.
He's kind of like Coach Likens. He's the Energizer Bunny. He's the same every day. Always has a smile on his face. It doesn't matter what's going on in his outside life. He makes sure that he ramps it up during practice, and he's the same every day within those white lines.
How much have you and Byron gone head-to-head in the past?
Quite a few, because we used to be teammates. I spent a lot of time at his house. I lived with him at one point, and that's really my brother.
How much did you try to get him to come here? How much do you think you might be playing college football together?
I honestly thought he would have committed here, but when he committed to Washington, I completely understood where he was coming from, and I knew why he made that decision, and it worked out. It worked out for him.
What were some of those conversations like? Friday nights, Saturdays, the dreams also going and playing on Sundays. You two, did you guys talk about that when you lived together?
Yeah, always. We talked about where we wanted to be, what we wanted to do in college, and just make it to the next level. That's the goal.
Moving into share any of the reasons he decided to go to Washington with us?
That's not for me to answer.
Moving into non-conference play, is there a shift in mentality at all now that it's Pac-12 time?
No, not really. I feel like Coach Herm does a great job of keeping us level-headed. We still have the same goals: win the Pac-12, win the Rose Bowl, go to a good bowl game. all of our goals are still right in front of us. We just have to take it.
Besides knowing Byron that well, what can you say about the Washington secondary? How different is it from other teams that you played or will play?
They're very talented. They're very good at disguising coverages, and we just have to really keep our heads on the swivel.
What did Coach say? I know that loss had to be really disappointing. What did Coach Herm say to kind of calm you guys down, what you focused on next week?
He just told us that it was okay. It's nothing we could do about it. The past is the past. He always says he never dwells on the past. All we can do is just keep moving forward. All of our goals are literally still right in front of us, and we have to take them right now. We have to take advantage before it's too late.
As you reflect on non-conference play, what do you think went specifically right for the offense?
What went right? I think we were well prepared, especially with the way we practiced. Obviously, there's a lot of things we could have done better, and that's just what we're focused on right now. We're not too focused on everything we did right. We know what we can do. It's really just focusing on what we can correct and what we can do better.
So what are some of the things you feel like that could be improved?
I feel like from a wide receiver standpoint, us lining up fast, I think our blocking can get a little bit better. And I feel like in that last game I feel like it was close. I feel like there was just a few plays that were this close to breaking. It was just maybe one block, one cut. I feel like on that bubble screen I could have got, in the middle of the field more instead of waiting too much. It's just little minor things that you can't really dwell on, but you can work on and you can fix.
You feel like Herm's message of just putting the past in the past and moving forward, is that connecting with guys? Is that sticking?
Yeah, definitely, because we can't just focus on that loss, or else it's going to eat us up. We have to focus on Washington. We have to make sure we're prepared going into that game because they're a really good team.
How would you describe Coach Likens?
Just very passionate. He's one of the most passionate people I've ever met in my life, and you can see that. How much he wants to win, and it kind of rubs off on us. And it did rub off in that fourth quarter. It was just too late. We ran out of time.
Just going back to last year's upset, historical upset for the school. Just take us through the emotions. Fourth down play, the clock hitting 0, the fans rushing the field. What was that like?
It was definitely one of the highlights of my career, and I feel like it's probably the highlight of a lot of guys' careers on this team. There was so much work going into that game, and our defense did a great job that game, and that win was very special to myself, and I know it was special for a lot of my teammates.
Is there anything different around the team going? What was going into the game last year versus going into the game this year? Is there a little more confidence, a little more bigger expectations?
Yeah, definitely. We know what we could do. We know what we're capable of. I feel like we can be one of the best teams in the country. We just have to make it click. We just have to put a full game together. There was times in that game where second and third quarter we just weren't moving the ball, and that can't happen.
When you have that stretch, is it tough, especially in the tempo offense, when you can't pick up that first down to kind of get into an offensive rhythm, whether it be because of not being able to run the ball or San Diego State taking away some of the short stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely tough, but in times like that, we have to run towards adversity. We can't run away from it. We have to make sure we're keeping our heads, we're keeping level-headed. We can't get too high, too low. And we just need to find a way to just end those stretches.
Do you think Washington's the best secondary you'll face all year, just the guys they have back there?
Definitely one of the best secondaries. They have so much talent, and going into this game, we just know we have to be at the top of our game.